Hi, this is Anthony from the Seattle Mahjong Club.
And this is Edwin from the Riichi Mahjong Club.
And here we are in session 7 of the SakuraCon Commentate Your Own Game. And we have Kenny on the east, Sam in south, Mazentius on west, and Bryan in north.
And to players, but Sam is part of the Linwood Mahjong group, which is north of Seattle. And Bryan, back in the day, used to play quite a bit with us.
Wow.
In the Riichi Mahjong Club, but unfortunately has not been able to do so as of late, so we generally just see him at the con.
Awesome. Well, I'm really excited to see them play then. I don't think I have the chance to play with them before. Okay, so it seems like everyone is able to draw their hands, and we have 8-pin as the door.
And currently it's Mazentius' turn, still trying to organize the tiles.
Yes. So it looks like he has one Dora. Unfortunately, no completed sets yet. Hopefully we'll... Oh, actually...
Yeah, has two pairs?
Yeah. Yeah, the 5-pin and the 6, so... Yeah. And so... He'll probably have a long way to go until he finishes his hand. But... We'll see where he takes it from there.
One possible way he could look at it is... since the hand is over the place, he is sitting west, so he has the west and the chun. He can draw a second one of those. It would be he could theoretically go for Yakuhai and just start calling his way to completion if he could.
Yeah, that'd be great. Good way to speed up his hand, especially since he does have one Dora. So it's gonna be 2,000 points at a minimum. Hopefully he can draw those tiles. That's definitely a good way for him to proceed. Another way to proceed is just try to stay close and go for a Riichi hand as well. See what the tiles give him. But he does decide to throw out Dora.
I mean, if you can't use it, you can't use it.
Yeah. Okay.
Potentially.
Oh, that's good.
So he does, and then looking at Bryan's hand, he's definitely got some possibilities out there. He's pretty long in the Sozu suit at this point.
Yep.
The thing is that it's still a little bit off.
Yeah.
Or go for like a Sanchoku or either an Itsu or a Honitsu, depending upon whatever tiles he draws.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I do like the Honitsu route, but it does depend on like what tiles he draws in the next couple turns to see what happens.
Looks like he'll give that up in the meantime. Might focus on the Honitsu.
Yeah.
So Kenny, pin. It's not great, but it does semi-connect to that 7-pin.
Yeah. He does have
to work around.
Sets. Yeah.
It's going to be rather difficult because he has either an edge weight or inside weight for some of those possible melds that he has.
Yeah, unfortunately. He's also looking for a pair as well. But he does draw something to help out with that 7-9 pitch. And looking at Sam, looks like he is going.
He's actually Ishanten at this point. Got a 4-6-8, so he can either wait for a 5-7 there. He could also end up getting tempai by turning one of his pairs into a set.
Yep.
It's pretty much just either Riichi or Riichi have Yaku otherwise.
Right. I think he's looking for the 7-pin so that he can utilize the Dora. And, Forza will allow him to also transition to Tanya.
Well, he'll get he might get Pinfu at this point, turning that pair of 7s into Ryanman 7-8.
Yeah, very nice.
That way I can
Very
Oh
good
wow!
progression.
Looking back at Mazentius' hands, he's now got not just 2 pairs now, but 4 pairs.
Yeah, he paired up the tune just like you mentioned earlier, and he also has yeah, he paired up the north as well. It's not his wind, but it's an easier wind to call. So he can definitely go for a faster hand or go for Chitoitsu or Toy Toy at this point. Very nice.
There.
Um, we'll see if he does decide to open up his hand.
Ah, he throws the Dora.
Oh
Unfortunately,
no,
will not help him.
yeah. If only he kept the Dora in the beginning. But maybe it'll be a tricky way. Okay. Go over to Sam is still Ishan.
So Sam, yeah, Sam's Ishan 10. He doesn't have his pair, and he actually ended up drawing. He went into a 2-sided weight and then drew, and so it just didn't quite work out the way he wanted.
Yeah, but luckily now he can, if he does get another Dora, well, there's no more Dora
man strong.
available, but if he was to draw another Dora, he would be able to incorporate it and go reach Dora 2, which would have been nice.
Yeah, right.
But now he's just hoping to fill in that 6, 7, 8.
That is the problem, yes.
Bryan is now gone towards the Honitsu.
Wow.
Even though he's not Tenpai yet, he's gotten into a decent shape where he could start calling if he wants to.
Yeah, I would totally call that North if I was him if it comes out. Because then he'll make his fan a lot faster, and he can get Yakuhai and Honitsu. Obviously, it's best if he stays close for minimum Mangan, but I think opening would also be a great choice. Kenny right now also close to Tenpai. Didn't see what he drew. Puts him in Tenpai.
So he's waiting on either either the Dora or the 9-pin.
Yep. Good wait. Unfortunately, we see
Sam's also gotten to Tenpai, waiting on the 7, which unfortunately is mostly sitting in Kenny's hand.
Yeah, unfortunately. He did set up a Suji trap, but since Kenny can't, try to bail, so there's only 1 7, so that's going to be able to come out for Sam.
And unfortunately for Kenny, all the Dora is pretty much locked.
Mm-hmm. There's one in Sasha's hand, but it's very unlikely he's going to throw the Dora. That's right. We'll see if Bryan is going to push. He does have...
I think Bryan can afford to push to some extent because discard pile, you'd look at Kenny's discard pile and you'd think that he'd be waiting on Sozu or Bamboo. And you'd almost think about Sam's hand. I mean, the high Pinzu is still dangerous for Sam, but out on the discard pile, nobody's really dropped that many Sozu, so it's possible Bryan might actually want to push.
Yeah. He is still 2 Shanten, or Yan Shanten away. So maybe now that it's the 3rd row, he might want to consider playing a little safer. But again, it does depend on what they draw. Some tiles are much safer than others.
Meanwhile, Mazentius is Ishan 10 for Chitoitsu.
Oh, if only
he really shouldn't get Tenpai at this point because 8, and that would be bad news.
Yeah. It is very unfortunate he had to discard the 8 pin in the beginning. Okay, Bryan deciding to throw out Suji. And still keep his Uranus hanchan.
None at all.
I'm not waiting on
I
my
believe this is looking like it's going to go to Ryokuku.
None at all.
Well, we'll see. It would be great if Kenny sumos and gets 3 Uradoras. That'd be exciting. It does decide, Bryan does decide to bail on the 5 pin. It does look pretty dangerous for both players.
Well, and Kenny's down to basically 1 live 9 pin because 1's been discarded by Bryan, and 1 is being held in Mazentius' hand.
Still pretty risky.
There's 2 east left, so it's not most dangerous. Yeah.
I think it's actually lucky for Mazentius that 2 of his 3 tiles. Well, he just got Yakuhai with his tunes, but the 2 of his 3 tiles that he was going for Chitoitsu are he can't draw. He won't be able to draw the pair up.
Yeah, because otherwise he has to discard someone else's winning tile, right?
Very much.
That'd be unfortunate. Okay.
Who I get the last tile?
Yep.
Come on, baby.
Looks like Kenny and Sam are going to be the only ones in Tenpai. So 1500 over to them.
It is. I don't. Yeah, Mazentius is showing their hand, but they are not.
Oh, there it is.
You pay me 15.
They're not in Tenpai.
Dealer changes
Okay, so Kenny gets to stay dealer. Looks like Kenny and Sam are playing very well.
Get these off the table before we start.
I think they stay for the next round, right?
Yeah, and they're in a tray, so they'll be safe.
Okay.
Those 2,000 point sticks are gonna stay in the pot. So whoever wins the next pot is going to get an extra bonus. 2,000 points from the Riichi stick and 300 points for the bonus round.
Yeah, I think it was unfortunate for Mazentius that he had dropped the door early. Otherwise, they would have been Tenpai for Chitoitsu. For Bryan, it was just unfortunate that he wasn't able to really draw any of the or get to Tenpai based upon the Sozu, but he still managed to avoid paying into Sam or Kenny in the process.
I think he made a wise choice of realizing that the round was going to an end before he could get to Tenpai, even though if he was to get to Tenpai, it would be a really good hand. Yeah.
It goes so fast.
Because otherwise, as we saw the last hand, he wasn't able, even if he was to push completely, he wouldn't have been able to get into Tenpai. So, very logical. So we see the Dora is the 6 mon. A nice central tile. Very, very easily used.
I'm not sure if they're playing by different rules because it looks like Sam's made the first discard even though Kenny had been Tenpai.
Yeah. They might be discussing it now, or okay. Well, it seems like they yeah, I guess Sam drew first and discarded first. Yeah, it might have been a mistake, but
Well, it's either that or they decided that they were going to go
faster.
so Tenpai, like, well, either because there are some rule sets where even if you're Tenpai, the dealership passes.
Right. It could be that maybe they're training for the tournament that was happening at SakuraCon, where that is what happened, right?
Possibly, yeah.
That when dealer was tempai, it would move over to the next player. Okay.
Alright, so just keep in mind that Kenny was the original East, but Sam is current dealer. And speaking of which, Sam is pretty darn close again.
Yeah.
He's already got 2. He's on 10.
Yep, he's on 10 already. I'd like to see
It's not-
that. Sorry, go ahead.
It's still not worth anything like his other hand, but
Yeah.
if he can somehow get 8 and draw into that waiting on the 1 or 2 would be really good.
Yeah. I would also like, since it is early in the round, maybe he can shift over to Tanya by getting rid of the 2 1-pins.
Possibly. Depends on what he draws.
Right. Depends on what he draws. Since it's early and he has no value currently, it's always a possibility to transition.
So, let's see here. Brian's got really good shapes going on. No pair, but that's fine.
Yeah.
And yeah, he'd easily turn this into a pinfu, and like I said, drawing a pair is a problem, really. I wouldn't be as concerned about that.
Yep. Yeah, looks good. He has 2 Dora and a Yakuhai pair, so he can go for a fast hand as well here by calling the Green Dragon.
In fact, it's probably recommended at this point, I would say.
Yes. I think if he gets the opportunity, that would be a good choice. We'll see what he ends up doing though. Because then it's okay. He decides to throw away Dora.
Okay, so I guess he's looking for. It's gonna be. He's got 3 pairs. That's not really ideal.
Right. He does have 6 blocks already, so potentially if he fills in one of the blocks, so say he draws another Hatsu, he can throw away one of the weaker blocks, maybe the 1 pin and the 2 pin.
He just drew the 9 cell, which finishes that. So he is dropping the 1 and 2 pin.
Okay. So that means he is Ishanten for potentially Yakuhai Dora.
Penny called the East, and he is sitting. Well,
North, I think, relative to Sam. If we assume Sam was the starting dealer.
And he might be looking at possibly a Honichi type hand.
Yeah, definitely.
He's Rianchan 10 still. He's still 2 away.
Yeah.
And oh wait, was it just called Reach? What did he draw? Oh, he drew the other 5 so he actually
Awesome.
For him. He's now waiting for either the Hatsu or the 1 so. Unfortunately, one of the 1 sos is already out. But other than that, and Brian unfortunately is sitting on the other one, or sorry, not 1 so 1 mon. Fortunately, not fortunately, the talent he'll probably get will be the Hatsu or the Green Dragon, which at least will give him Reach Yakuhai Door, which I'm good.
Yep.
And we'll now go for that Honitsu.
Yeah. The 3 cells are safe, so he can throw those out and still be happy. Very nice. And he is Ishanten for Honitsu, he just needs to call once for that. Sam unfortunately hasn't been able to make progress since from his very good starting hand.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, he doesn't know that 3 of the 5 so's are in Mazentius' hand.
Yeah.
So it's a 4-6-8 shape doesn't look terrible, but it's not because but it's it's kind of like having a two-sided weight. It's just that you need one extra tile. And Kenny calls one more time, and now is Tenpai waiting for the 3-6 pin.
Yep. It looks like maybe he was able to. Yeah, he was able to get into Tenpai relatively safely. Now he's waiting on finishing a 3900 hand as well. We'll see if anyone picks up that he's Tenpai.
Oh, he's actually.
Seems like Sam has decided that he wants to play it safe. Since he decided to keep that 8-mon.
Same goes for Bryan. He could have easily used that 6 but at this point he's decided that he's, at least for now, going to bail.
Yeah.
Because he's holding on to that 3-6 pin, which happens to be Kenny's weight.
Yep. It does seem like Bryan drew both of. Basically, Bryan has all of Mazentius' weights. Mazentius is. Yeah, he's gonna have to hope that Bryan discards relatively unsafe tiles in order to complete his hand. This is close though.
Sam keeps trying to get out of Tenpai, and yet the hand seems to be moving him back towards it.
Yeah. Funny how Mahjong
But
chess.
he also recognizes that that 3 pin was dangerous and has decided to hold on to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he does discard the 3.
He drops it.
He drops it. Unfortunate.
Sam was certainly trying to work his way around back into a Tenpai shape.
Yeah.
Possibly looked at the 2 pin and the 4 pin discards he made, and maybe thought he could get away with dropping the 3.
Yeah.
Not gonna happen.
Unfortunate. Both hands were pretty big, so
This might have come out. Like 5 safe tiles.
that should be 3,900 points if Sam was the dealer.
Waiting to draw a 7 or a 5, and then you guys get the thing. So,
Yeah. Usually when someone has 3 calls with the same suit, if you sense that they might be pushing against another Riichi, they might have a Tenpai hand already, and so that might be an indication to be wary of both players, both Kenny and Mazentius at that point.
Price of 1.
But figuring out who's dangerous and not is difficult when they're not Riichi.
so this tile and that tile.
Alright, so East 3 now. You'll have to unfortunately ignore the center there, but this is East 3, 0 Homba. Dora is the 1 pin.
Yes. Spacious' hand doesn't look like there's anything too exciting. He has a Dora, has 1 completed.
There's 1 completed meld, but that's about it.
Yeah.
So, again, this might be a case where you just hope to draw into a Yakuhai, and then, depending upon how hands progress, start calling.
Yep, I agree. For example, some honor tiles don't do much for him, like the South and the West, but keeping the 2 dragons might be useful if he pairs it up. So especially since he's dealer, so he probably wants to keep his dealership as well.
Bryan's got 1 completed meld, but other than that, it's also a bit over the place. He's got a couple of inside weights. He's got a pair. It looks like his road will be a little bit longer as well.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
no, I just wanted to review.
I agree. Looking at Sam's hand, he has 2 Dora, which is very exciting. He has a pair of Wests, but it's not his wind. So we'll see how he's able to transition here. With 2 Dora, yeah, you always usually want to see if you can move towards a fast callable hand, which may include pairing up one of his Yakuhai tiles.
Kenny's hand's interesting. Like, if I'm looking at it personally, well, it looks like there are elements of Chanta and or Junchan in it.
Yeah.
It's not a hand you'd ideally like want to shoot for, but just given the shape of his tiles, it's not out of the realm of possibility that he ends up drawing into that.
Yeah, I agree.
Actually, he's even got like a possible Ipeiko now on his Manzu suit.
I also see potentially some Sanchoku chances in the 6, 7, 8, depending on if he is able to draw. Like, ideally.
I thought it's only a Chombo if you like showed more than X many tiles.
If you break the wall,
Yeah, so his hand has, I think, the most chances to improve.
if you break the wall irreparably, it's a straight combo. If you draw it without a win condition, it's a combo.
He does draw the second.
That's another pair, so I guess Chitoitsu's sort of on the table, but that's not ideal with this hand.
Yeah, I agree. He always has the option, but he can always move to a normal hand looks like a better choice, potentially.
Even if it's
Mazentius's blocks look a lot more cleaner now.
You hope somebody
It's still sitting out there by itself.
go and discard all the dangerous.
Depending upon how the rest of the hand comes out, that may have to go. Actually, that should go probably right now, because he had... Wait.
Content.
That one pin's not going to fit anymore in his hand. If he draws another one, that'd be great, but if you draw a 2 or a 3 pin, you're kind of... I mean, like you're happy that you can incorporate it near there, but it's... Your weight to finish it would not be all that great.
Right. His other blocks that he's trying to finish, though, his 8, 9 mon are also not that great. So potentially he's able to, even though if he does draw a 2 pin, it's the weight is near Dora, so less people are going to discard near the Dora. Maybe the chance of the value might be better there. Okay. He does draw the 6 mon though. No. Oh.
Yep.
Okay, so unfortunately I think he might have misread his hand.
Yeah. So unfortunately, Mazentius has called Reach, thinking possibly that 6 mon he drew was a 7. So unfortunately, he is actually not Tempai. Would probably hope that somebody else manages to win the hand at this point.
Yeah. So what happens is if someone else wins the hand, then play resumes as normal. Points will get exchanged as normal. But if it does go into an exhaustive draw, Mazentius will have to show his hand because he declared Reach, and show that he's not Tempai, and then receive a chombo or a penalty to his points. So yeah, his ideal scenario is someone else wins so that he doesn't have to reveal his hand.
And Kenny's actually Kenny is now Tempai for Chito. So remember when I said that it wasn't all that great? Well, he's now Tempai for Chitoitsu. So there you go.
Yeah. Chitoitsu Tanya. So for nice 3200 hand.
Would you reach in this situation if you were Kenny?
Hard to say because there is another Reach at the table, and it's Dealer who's reached. So
That's true, because you don't know that he's not actually Tempai, so
right.
you're gonna. Oh, he declares reach anyway.
He declares reach anyway. I don't think either is a wrong choice, but since the dealer did declare reach, I would try to since Chitoitsu you can change your weight quite easily. I would have just stayed.
Another reason why you might consider that Mazentius' hand isn't necessarily all that expensive is because he reached on the Dora. So it's one of those cases where either he's holding on to more Dora and he had to say give up a set, doesn't have any, and he's just trying to go for a quick hand to that one pin and the Dora didn't fit, right?
Right. That makes sense.
So he couldn't use it, so I can go ahead with my hand.
Yep.
Has the other 3 Dora. Actually, he's got 10, but he's discarded the 1 mon already. Somehow draws the 2/5.
Ooh, so he could get into Furitan situations.
A Furitan situation unless he reached on the. Wait.
That's good too.
It doesn't quite help, but it would somewhat solve the Furitan situation.
Yeah, it solves this Furitan situation. He does discard the dangerous 7 pin, but he does have 3 Dora. Could be worth it in the long run.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Especially since Mazentius dropped 1, right? So he knows Mazentius doesn't have any, right? Because he can see all the Dora.
Right.
It makes it that much easier for Sam to continue pursuing the hand because he knows that Kenny doesn't have it either, right?
Right. So he sees all 4 Dora. So the value that they're getting it must be, if they are.
Okay. I thought he drew another 2, but I thought all of them were. Not all of them were dead. I thought they were.
Ooh, interesting.
Oh, it drops the Dora.
Decides to drop the Dora.
Oh.
That's interesting because the 6th mon was Nakasuji for both Mazentius and Kenny.
Mazentius already dropped the 6.
Yeah, Mazentius dropped the 6, and Bryan dropped the 3 mon the turn before. So for Kenny, both the 9 mon and the 3 mon are safe, and so therefore the 6 mon becomes Nakasuji. But luckily the 1 pin, he does see that Mazentius discarded the 1 pin, so at least the dealer is not going to be able to win off that. Bryan is on complete bail mode right now. Let's see if we can find a safe discard. Yeah. Okay, so the round is coming to a close. We'll see if oh, looks like
all of Kenny's weights are sitting in everybody's hands. So
yeah.
Unfortunately this is
Sam,
he gets him to temp
yeah. Sam was it?
For Pink Fudora 2.
Yep, exactly. Pink Fudora 2. Very nice. 3,900 point hand if he wins off someone else. And if he reached it, we got E-Putts. But let's see.
3,900.
Yeah, Pink Fudora 2. So 3,900 over. We're not playing, or there's no bonuses this round because
unfortunately the scoring is a bit is basing on East 1 bonus 2, which it's not. This is 3, and it would be Pink Fedora 2, which would be what is it, 5,200, right?
3,900 for non-dealer.
Oh right.
Pink Fedora.
Yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, still a good hand. Very nice. Able to wash his way to a Tenpai.
So again, this is not East 2. This is East 4.
Yep.
Is dealer.
Yep. Bryan is dealer. And Dora is the 8. So, which Bryan does have in his hand.
Looking at it, he's got a pair of West, so he could use that for Does the hand have some Pinfu shapes in them? I think so.
I see some Ramons.
It's a 7, 8, 9. Oh, but he's got a pair of Wanmons.
Oh, no.
So, deal, but he can certainly still work with this, and, you know,
It
a
could turn,
decent looking head out of it.
yeah, could turn into a Chanta or a or a Junja, or basically it could turn into a Chanta. Very unlikely, but there is a possibility if you draw it perfectly. Well, Mazentius has.
Alright. Well, actually, here, Mazentius is got the tune. Sam.
Sam has 3 Yakuhai pairs.
Yeah, this could end up being a very expensive hand, depending upon what turns out here. Because if he manages to draw another Hatsu, not only is it Yakuhai, but we're talking about possible like Daisangen
Yeah.
abilities here.
Ooh.
And even if it's not that, then you're still looking at least 2 or 3 Yakuhai,
And Adora.
possible Honitsu, and Adora. So
Very good starting end for Sam.
the hand is basically playing itself. He'll just try to call his way into a winning hand at this point.
Yep. That's how I'd play it. Well, Kenny, on the other hand, his hand is sort of shaping up as well. Looks like it could be a Pinku hand. He has some Ramen weights, pair and 2 pin. So, possible Shanshoku.
Yeah, Dora.
Oh, Sam calls a 7, so now I would imagine he would try to go for the Honitsu. Although he discarded the West, so we'll see how he plays the rest of it. He may just take the triple Yakuhai. Which I put it in that sense, but it's like when I say just taking it, because his hand being much more expensive is certainly out there.
Yeah. It is a quick 3,900 points, because you know his weights in the Pinzu it's a good weight too. So it's a ramen weight, classy ramen weight, but it's still a good weight, especially early on. So
Bryan opts not to keep the second Dora. I can see why he does that, because I think he's just trying to get into, because he is sitting Ishanten.
Mm-hmm. And he's dealer. So.
And he's dealer.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing would be like 5/7/7 shape's not all that great, and you might consider kicking one of those tiles as opposed and holding on to the Dora. Mm-hmm. It's debatable. I think so discard from Mazentius, it might make it harder, at least in his mind,
right.
Keep that 8 and actually build another meld around the second Dora.
Right, I agree.
And like Sam's already got the 6, 7, 8, so a lot of those tiles are look unavailable to him. So that's actually probably right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, going for speed rather than value.
Well, I'm staffed, so.
Here, you can give us hand.
No, I can't.
Kenny isn't making much progress, unfortunately.
I mean, he's drawing things around his existing things, but unfortunately, like you said, it's not quite progressing.
Right. I think maybe now he could be looking for an Ibeko in the 7, 8, 9 month.
So Sam calls the Haku, decides not to try for the Daisangen. Dangerous as it is, because one would assume with those 3 calls that he at least has double Yakuhai.
Yep.
You might think he has it might be a little bit less likely because he's discarded the 1 and the 6-0 hands at this point.
Right. But I mean, he is showing 3,900 minimum
At least.
right now. So
and the thing is that Hatsu discard probably also signals that he's Tenpai.
Yeah, a very strong signal that he's Tenpai. I agree. So, now is the time to evaluate your hand, to think about whether or
Well-
not it's worth it to go for it.
Oh, that's what Brian's got to think of because he's now Tempai and he is deciding to go declare Reach.
I see. Who's dealer? He's fighting with Riichi Dora.
And luckily for him, the one pin is safe against Sam. So
And Sam does deal
there you
it.
go.
Reach Epots
And that's Reach Pot.
Dora.
At least if we check the Uradora, what does he have?
Doesn't seem like he got
It
it.
does not look like.
Oh, it's also dealer.
But that's
So it's
dealer
77.
3 and 40. So it's 7,700. Unfortunate for Sam because Sam had such a great starting hand.
So far, that's for sure.
He had a push there. But that's it for this session of Commentate Your Game at SakuraCon. Hopefully you enjoyed our commentary.
So that was Anthony. My name is Edwin, and thanks for watching.
See you next time.